You got it. I like the backgrounds there. We got the books in the background. We've got the whiteboard. You got everything. That's awesome, my friend. Good stuff. Now, W. Dennis Parker joins us today, 36 minutes after the hour. It's RadioZenu.com. Also, we are available at TalkRadioX.com, coast to coast and border to border, all over the place. And let's talk here. We've had you on a couple times in the past, and you're one of my favorite guys. You are way too smart to be talking to me, and I'll have to say, Dennis, you're an entertaining fellow. For the folks that have never heard you on Radio Xenu, kind of give us an overall on your book. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, we're just now reprinting it. We just re-edited it. For those of you who want to see it, I can show
Spiritual Mind Management. There it is for the folks up on our television broadcast. You can see that. Instantly make changes you have always desired, utilizing new mind management hypnotherapy techniques. Now, hypnotherapy is something that a lot of people are starting to get into, and I know that we get emails and things every time we have you on where folks are either kind of hesitant to it or they've tried it. Tell us a little bit about hypnotherapy here and how it relates to your book.
Well, there's 3 different forms of what we would call hypnosis that we teach in the school.
Yeah.
Because I also have a certifying hypnotherapy school where we teach people how to be hypnotherapists.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so anybody that wants to really check out all of the details can go to certifiedhypnotherapytrainingschool.com. And we have educational videos there, a lot of free information and so on, and they can figure out, a lot of their questions just from going to the website.
Yeah. Now, as far as your classes, what is a typical class like? When you first bring people in, what is the introduction to something like this?
Well, we have a 101 to 601 course schedule, which obviously starts out, what is hypnosis, what is trance. And we teach people about their 6 observable trance states. And hypnosis is really not well understood even to this day in most circles, because people want to call it hypnosis as like it's one definitive thing, and it's not. The term hypnosis is a general term that frankly covers 6 observable trance states that we use in hypnotherapy every day. And so the idea behind hypnotherapy is matching up the right trance state with the right hypnotherapy process and technique that is most effective at that level of trance, if you will, and then achieving appropriate behavioral modifications. So both hypnosis and hypnotherapy really are general terms. Hypnotherapy describes a number of processes and procedures and techniques that can be done or accomplished at these different various trance levels of mind. The first level that everybody is familiar with, that we call waking hypnosis, is what the world calls daydreaming. And so we all daydream, where we fixate and focus outside of our head, but we're really thinking about something back inside of our mind. It's that state we're in when we drive right past our exit on a freeway, or we're watching a movie, or reading a book, and we said, well, I didn't really get into that book or the movie until the second act or the second chapter. What we're really saying is that we didn't shift our focus from an external focus to more of an internal focus, where we could start pretending and imagining that we were part of the movie. We related to the animal or with the hero or the heroine, and we kind of go off on our imagination, and we enjoy the show more because we related to ourselves personally in our own imagination.
Now, what are some of the critics and people saying about hypnotherapy? I noticed that there's that hypnotherapy's been around for a while, but what are some of the critics, and how do you answer some of their criticisms?
Hypnotherapy has, for the most part in the past, been a process where somebody hypnotizes somebody, or they will enter a altered state of consciousness or a level of trance, and then somebody is giving them, some positive suggestions or affirmations, or they're reading them a metaphor, story, or script. They're in some way wanting to get what we call critical factor bypass, which is the division between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And once we can get critical factor bypass, now we have a chance of influencing the person's behavior, because the point of all of that is to establish a new predominant thought. So the idea is that we're all acting out our most predominantly accepted thoughts and beliefs. And whatever we accept to be as our most accepted belief, that is what's driving our behaviors in the current moment in time. So as we hypnotize somebody and we have them go into one of those levels of trance, and we want to get bypass, we can do that through what we call suggestion hypnotherapy. And that's what mostly is being done out there. I mean, that's being done in the form of affirmations, auto-suggestions, which are a lot of affirmations tied together into a script. Again, metaphors, stories and scripts, guided imagery, those types of things. Then there's another level of hypnotherapy that actually goes beyond that most folks out there aren't so good at, and that we teach intensely at the school, and that's what we would call clinical hypnotherapy. Clinical hypnotherapy really includes age regression work, Gestalt work, and pain control for the most part. And so people can go in and discover and resolve, past sensitizing emotional events. So everybody seems to have, maybe a half a dozen or a dozen events in their life when they start to think about them.
Yeah.
That they become emotionalized or sensitized. They start to cry, or they get angry, or they feel hurt, and it may be things that even happened to them in early childhood or grade school. They might now be in their 50s or 60s, and yet whenever they still think about those experiences, they're still sensitized by them. And so through the clinical hypnotherapy processes, we help people go in and resolve those types of issues. A lot of people are stuck in what we call unresolved grieving. They're stuck in the grieving process, either with an unresolved death of a friend or loved one, or they're stuck in the grieving process because they went through a divorce, or their parents went through a divorce, and they've never really known how to finish that work up, so to speak, and do their own personal healing. And then the other part of what we call clinical hypnotherapy is pain control. And we teach people how to utilize their minds to actually eliminate or desensitize, or at least shut down to a major degree, both chronic, acute pain, and how a person can use their mind to actually do that, and instead of other methods. So, for example, we teach pregnant mothers how to have painless childbirthing, those types of things through that disconnect. And then the third part of what we teach here is the spiritual mind management. So spiritual mind management is a new form of hypnotherapy. It's an addition to the two forms I just talked to you about that many people are aware of. But spiritual mind management takes all of that to the next level, where we actually teach people about their spiritual mind. And the fact is that our spiritual mind actually controls the brain, and then the brain controls the body. So when a person finally gets to the point where they can actually understand and work with their own spiritual mind and do their own direction of the brain, then they can accomplish great things mentally, emotionally, physically, psychically. Athletic performance improves. All kinds of things get to be improved in that state. I know I rambled there for a minute.
No. It's good information, my friend. We've got W. Dennis Parker with us today. He joins us today on Skype. For our television viewers, you can see him over there at jiggyjaguar.net. And for those of you who are listening to us on talkradiox.com and our good friends over there at Radio Xenu in Wichita, Kansas, keep listening. We've got some cool information here coming up. W. Dennis, tell us about this book and how it relates to the courses and everything that you teach on hypnotherapy.
Well, what we do is we teach people a system of personal problem solving skills in the courses. of hypnotherapy, where they learn to help people overcome self-limiting beliefs
Yeah.
and self-defeating behaviors. We teach them how to assist people overcome inappropriate habits, stop smoking, lose weight, those kinds of things. And then we teach people how to conquer maladaptive behaviors, which we call them maladaptive when they're behaviors that could cause themselves or somebody else harm. So, things like pornography and, those types of behaviors that people would like, gambling, that kind of stuff. Or, there's a lot of folks that are really hung up with just endless electronic game playing,
yes,
to the point that, it destroys their relationships at home and, those types of things. So we help people with all different kinds of behaviors.
Okay, well, that's cool. So it's not just, the one thing. You guys are covering all sorts of different things out there.
Well, in the school, we cover the waterfront, so to speak, on behavioral modification. So we would teach people how to become a behavioral modification expert, so to speak, or a specialist, and to be able to help people in all of their general and basic behaviors, as well as some of the more severely rooted kinds of things like I talked about a minute ago, such as being stuck in the grieving process and those types of behaviors.
Well, how do we access you online? How do we connect with you? How do we buy the book? Everything of that nature.
The school, again, is certifiedhypnotherapytrainingschool.com. And there are some really good educational videos there. Again, there's the one there I call The Truth About Trance or Hypnosis. There's another, it's a 2-hour plus video on the truth about hypnotherapy. And it talks about clinical hypnotherapy and how we do it in a very simplified way and why it works and why it's so effective. You can buy the book on the book site itself. It's called spiritualmindmanagement.com. So you can go to spiritualmindmanagement.com and just order the book there, and we'll ship that out to you. If somebody's interested in actually learning some of the clinical courses or becoming a student, we broadcast the classes in the school online. We don't use Skype. It's something similar to Skype, where people can join the classes live all over the country. So on any given night in the school, we might have people from Iowa, Texas, California. They can be fully interactive. They get to see and hear us, and we get to see and hear them. They're part of the classroom kind of thing. And it works out really well. So people can come on and actually learn to do this work no matter where they're at. We have a lot of students come on who want to now just learn these mental, emotional skills and processing just to help their own family and children. So we have a non-certifying category for parents and grandparents and people who want to learn how to just work with their own kids and children better at a huge discount, that kind of thing. We just want to help families and people do better.
Well, it's a good deal, and I thank you for being with us today. Thanks for being on, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. You're one of our favorites, and looking forward to chatting with you in the new year.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Have yourself a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you next year.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir. Now, if you want to get more information on what we are up to, you can do so over there at radiozenu.com. That's radiozenu.com.